Manitou MC2 Compression Damper Service. This video covers the removal, service, and installation of the MC2 compression damper assembly on the Mezzer Pro. Throughout this video, the fork is shown mounted in a stand and with the casting removed. Please refer to our casting service for forks with non-threaded castings video before starting this service. Assemble these tools and parts and let's get started. Once the casting has been removed, use a 2mm hex wrench to remove the red low-speed MC2 knob screw. Hold the knob so it does not spin as you rotate the screw counterclockwise. The damper adjuster may be damaged if the knob is over-torqued. Use a non-marring pick or pliers with non-marring barrier to remove the low-speed compression knob by lifting straight up. Use an 11mm socket to remove the exposed nut. Hold the high-speed knob so it does not spin as you remove the nut. The damper adjuster may be damaged if the knob is over-torqued. Remove the black, high-speed compression knob and V-seal. Use a standard cassette lock ring tool to unthread the damper top cap from the stanchion. Apply a top-down force while loosening to prevent slipping. Rotate counterclockwise to loosen and remove the assembly from the stanchion. Caution: non-standard spanners may damage the damper's splined interface. Remove the damper assembly from the stanchion. Inspect the damper shaft and bladder for any damage. Pull the damper shaft to full extension. Hold the damper with the top cap oriented down and the bleed port pointed into a catch pan. Cycle the damper shaft several times to purge old oil from the damper. After the first few cycles, squeezing the bladder near the top cap will help remove remaining oil. Continue cycling until only air is expelled from the bleed port. While completely purging the damper cartridge is ideal, the small amount of remaining old oil should blend with the new oil and not affect damping performance. Assemble the bleed syringes from the bleed kit. Attach an M5 by 0.8 fitting and lure lock to both syringes. Fill one syringe with 5-weight damper oil. Remove the bleed screw from the damper end cap and attach the filled syringe to the end cap bleed port. Attach the empty syringe to the top cap bleed port. Holding the damper upright in a vise, simultaneously compress the filled syringe and retract the empty syringe to remove air from the damper. Refill the syringe as needed until oil is drawn into the upper syringe. Repeat the previous steps until no air bubbles are present in the oil in the upper syringe. Close the hose clamp on both syringes and cycle the damper slowly to draw air to the top of the damper. Open the hose clamps and repeat the previous steps until no air bubbles are present in the oil in the upper syringe. Pulling on one syringe while pushing on the other can encourage removal of air from the system. Fully extend the damper shaft and add oil from the bottom syringe until the bladder is slightly expanded. Remove the assembly from the vise. Lay the cartridge flat on the bench. Close the hose clamps on both syringes, remove the lower syringe and replace the bleed screw. Some oil may discharge from the bleed port when removing the syringe. Remove the upper syringe and replace the bleed screw. You are ready to install the damper cartridge back into the stanchion. Use a standard cassette lock ring tool to tighten and torque the damper cartridge. From this point on, the fork is shown with the casting reinstalled. Refer to our casting service for forks with non-threaded castings video for detailed information on those steps. Clean the adjuster knobs with isopropyl alcohol. Place the V-seal into the top cap. Install the black, high-speed adjustment knob onto the adjuster hex. With an 11mm socket, thread on the lock nut and torque it. Be sure to hold the knob still while installing the nut. The damper adjuster may be damaged if the knob is over-torqued. Lubricate the O-ring seal on the red, low-speed adjustment knob with slick oleum grease and install it onto the adjuster hex. With a 2mm hex wrench, install the screw and torque it. Be sure to hold the knob still while installing the screw. The damper adjuster may be damaged if the knob is over-torqued. Clean the fork and use a shock pump to set the desired air pressure. Lightly pull the casting away from the crown as you add air. Refer to the Mezzer Pro setup guide for recommended air pressures. You have completed the MC2 compression damper service for the Manitou Mezzer Pro fork. Complete service procedures for this fork can be found in our other videos. Please continue to our YouTube channel and ManitouMTB.com for more maintenance procedures and assembly instructions. Thank you for riding with Manitou.